True Peace Ken's Black Leaders biography showcases her influence on Fort Knox during after World War II. Peep the slang. Started to do it the other day, man, but I didn't. I got schoolwork. But peep the slang. General George S. Patton Museum has a big secret to tell. Sitting among several priceless artifacts is an obtrusive trove with no connection to Patton, a kind of time capsule very few have seen. These historical artifacts, stored neatly in several remarkable boxes, once belonged to just one person, an African American woman named Margaret Ma Collier. These boxes are filled with personal memories, accomplishments, and tremendous praise for her efforts, sometimes from unexpected people. Peep the slang. Among her accolades are signed, pressed pictures of famous black entertainers like Olympic gold medalist Jesse Owens, boxing legend Joe Louis, and jazz great Dizzy Gillespie, Louis Armstrong, Lionel Hampton, and Lena Horne. Even a signed press picture by Ray Charles, all extraordinary people she was responsible for headlining at the Post. One box, however, contains something even more extraordinary, her personal thoughts in the form of an unpublished biography and a separate article titled Story of Integration, which reveals the racial climate at Fort Knox during and after World War II from the eyes of a black woman. I like to read that. Peep the slang. Throughout my years since my arrival here, all the liberal policies which have been instituted here have been placed in effect without publicity, fanfare, or force from outside, wrote Collier. They were instituted merely because the soldiers themselves had shown that they were ready to accept each other at face value and that each had a definite role to play in the defense of this great country. And the work toward our ultimate aim, a democratic form of government. Peter Slang, considered by historians to be the first black woman in the United States to work as a hostess in military service clubs, she is also said to have accomplished far more in her 35-year career at Fort Knox than just serving food and drinks to soldiers. If news coverage is any indication of the impact left on a community, Collier ranks among the most influential. Her retirement from club services in December 1976 drew several news organizations from Louisville and other parts of Kentucky. Peep the slang. More than a service club hostess, according to Collier's own writings and notes, she started work as a service club hostess as the Central Kentucky installation in 1942, hired to keep the morale of the men high and to keep the commander well informed of any problems which might arise among black personnel. Peep the slang. That commander, the commanding general of Fort Knox, Major General Jacob Devers, grew to trust Collier so much that they developed a close friendship, which will continue throughout the course of their lives, long after the military. In this collection, you will see Christmas cards from Jacob Devers to Ma Collier even 30 years after the war, said Matthew Rector, historic preservation specialist at the Fort Knox Cultural Resources Office. Rector admits he is one of Collier's biggest fans, crediting her with helping Devers transform the Army post into a leader in racial integration. Peep the slang. She was a very public face at Fort Knox for soldiers who were stationed here or passing through, regardless of their race, said Rector. I'm sure she remained active in the community well beyond her retirement in the mid-70s. That's a 50-year chunk of contribution to Fort Knox and the surrounding communities. Peep the slang. Rector is convinced that even Collier's biography, written in the third persons, is actually an autobiography after having rummaged through several of her log books filled with handwritten personal thoughts on several subjects. Man, peep the slang. Miss Ma.